Alright, extra credit time. If you want extra credit, we got a video for you, and it's just us remaking the Netflix logo. So something like this. Pretty sweet. So obviously I use my name instead of the Netflix logo. You can use the Netflix logo if you want. I'll show you how to do it with the name first. Okay, I'm going to go super fast and just go over the steps and not really talk about why I'm doing anything. We're just going to do it. So let's do it, Bobby. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is open up Illustrator. And File, New, and that looks good. We can call this Netflix. And then we need to create a text layer with our name. There's my name, and I'm gonna make it bigger because it needs to be bigger. About 125, and we need to get that curve in it. And also, this font isn't right. I don't really have the right font on here. I think I'm just going to use Franklin. Let's see, which one do I use? That one? We'll say that Franklin Gothic Demi something or other. And then we'll go to Effects and go to Warp and Arc Lower, and we'll put the arc, we'll make the bend like that. -12 looks good. Hit OK, and we don't need a fill. We'll take that out, but we do need a stroke. Boom, there we go. Now File, Save As. We need to save it as something that Cinema 4D will recognize, so I will call it the bar outline, bar Netflix outline, and we will save. You should save all this to a folder, right? So right now I have a new folder and then like Netflix or something. So I will save that, and I want to make sure it's saved as Illustrator 8 because that's what Cinema 4D recognizes. It's going to give you a warning, and you're going to say OK. Then I can close out of that and open up After Effects. After Effects. Okay, new project, and I'm gonna go right to Cinema 4D. So File, New, Max on Cinema 4D, and Untitled. Yeah, so save this to that Netflix folder that you just created as Untitled. That's fine. Save. Do you want to replace? Yes. The majority of the work is going to be done here in Cinema 4D. First thing you need to do when you get into Cinema 4D is change it to HD because of these lines here. We're not in HD. So I'm going to click here and make the width 1920 and the height 1080. And we're going to lock that ratio, and we're going to go to Effect and include Ambient Occlusion and Close Out. Now we're going to bring in our splines, go File, Merge Objects, and the bar Netflix outline. There it is, that Illustrator file, and I want it to be connected and scale 1. Hit OK. See this little blue arrow here? It says it's in there, it's just off-centered, so I'm just going to go to coordinates and zero everything out. 0, 0, and now I'm just going to rotate around and zoom in a little bit to like there. Okay, I'm going to open up this folder and highlight all these paths, drag them out of that folder name, and delete Jabbar Netflix outline. And then I'm going to drop an extrude in here and highlight the paths again. Drop them under the extrude with that arrow facing down, and it just extruded the first letter there. So I'm going to click on extrude, go to objects, and click hierarchical. And now we have everything extruded. I'm going to click on extrude one more time, hit the letter C on my keyboard to make things, them all their own extrudes. And I'm going to highlight all of the extrudes, drag them out of those folders, and delete these two folders. Peace. Now I'm going to go through and rename them by clicking on it, hitting enter, and do I have to do this? Probably not, but I'm going to because I know about that. Path 4 is the B, 5 is the A, path 9 is R1, R2, there we go. And now what do I need to do? Now I need the wall that it comes out of, so I'm going to click on this cube, hold, and get the plane. I'm going to rotate that up, so I'm going to click on the rotation tool, and I'm going to click and hold my left mouse button, and then I'm going to hit shift, and then I can go down by 10 degrees. So I click, hold on my mouse, then hold in shift, and then it will increase by 10 degrees rather than trying to eyeball it. I'm going to rotate here and put the wall behind the letters. Okay, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to scale this wall up. I'll have to scale it up a little more later. There we go. If I render it out now, you can see just have a random light in here and no materials yet. So what I want to do is create a material. I'm going to double click down here and double click on this matte and change it to white. And that will be the color for the letters. And I can drag that onto each single one, or I can just hold Control and click down and let go, and click down and let go, and click down and let go, and click and hold it down and let go. There we go. Now I need to make the background here, or the material for the background. So I'm going to double click, make a new material, and I'm going to make this a gradient. So this little triangle here by the word texture, I'm going to hit gradient, and I'm going to change it from, I'm going to then go into the gradient options and change it from 2D U to 2D circular, and I'm going to make the left node white and the right node will make gray. So we got that thing going on, which kind of looks like the Netflix background. And if I move that, make it a little bit darker. Alright, there we go. And I'm going to drag that onto the plane. What do we got? Sweet. You can see how it gets dark around the edges there. That's great. That's great. Alright, now, what do I want to do? Let's throw a camera in here. Here's the camera, and I'm going to jump into the camera and then right back out. So I'm just setting the camera location there, right back out. And I'm going to drop a light in here. And see, now I'm not in the camera, so when I move now, I'm not affecting the camera view. So I can move over here and then jump back in the camera view, and there it is. Jump out of the camera, and I'm going to move this light, let's see, over to the side, maybe just in between the D and the B, and then up, and then out a little bit. Now, if I jump in this camera view, you can see nothing's really happened because I haven't enabled shadows. So I'm going to click on this light, go to shadow, and make it soft shadow. Now, there we go. Oh, I want it to be hard shadows, I'm sorry. So I'm going to change that to ray traced. Hard shadows. I'm going to move this out a little more, jump out of the camera, over, out. Let's see what that looks like. Good, it's kind of too far from the, like over in this side, so I'm just going to raise it up so that the shadows are more like long down instead of over. So I'm going to come back over here a little bit and then raise it up. Jump back into the camera, whoops, render that out, see what it looks like. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And maybe I need to go a little bit over. A little bit over to the left by grabbing this. There we go. How about that? We're going to call that good. Now it's a little too hard here, a little too dark, so we need another light in the scene. I'm going to jump out of this camera, drag this light in, and we're going to push way back here. And we're going to make it intensity like 70%. Let's see what that looks like. There, now that shadow's a little softer. We're going to turn it down a little bit more. Maybe like 60%, 50%. How about half? There we go. Okay. Now let's, these edges here are a little too hard, a little too straight angle for me. So if I click and highlight all of the extrudes and go to caps, and I'll make the start, the front, a fillet cap, and we're gonna, that's a little too much there, that beveled edge. So we're gonna increase the steps by 2, and the radius needs to come way down to like 2. There we go. If I render that out, that looks good there. Alright, and now we gotta set these keyframes. So I'm just gonna keyframe everything at once and then go back and fix it. So if I highlight all of the extrudes, I'm going to go into coordinates, and let's say we're gonna set this for like 25 frames, and we just need to do this coordinate here. So that's where I want all the letters to be at 25 frames, and again we'll have to go back and fix this, and then take the playback to 0, jump out of the camera, and we'll zoom way in on the side, and that we're saying at 0 frames I want the letters to be disappeared. And you can see this turned orange because I've changed where it's located. So I hit it again to set that keyframe, and now I have this animation going on. That's cool. And then I want it to, obviously they have to almost disappear again. So at 30 frames, I'm gonna drag them to like just right. There. Okay, and then I'll hit the keyframe again. Let's see what that looks like. Can you see those? Perfect. Alright, so now these have to come out separately. If we look at this, you can see how they kind of, the D comes out first, and then the E, and whoop. So I got to make that thing going on. Right now they're all coming together. So what I want to do is, let's just click on the D, and we'll say that'll come out. Let's do this. That will come out first. We'll start at 5 frames, and that will come out. Let's say this at 5 and 10. How about that? So 5 and 10, and then it's going to start going down. Okay, and then let's do the E at, we'll just increase by 2 frames, so let's go 7 and 12. Okay, we'll just keep doing that. And then the B at 9 and 14, and the A at 11, 11 and 16, and first are at 13 and 18, and the last are at 15 and 20. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, that's good. I'm gonna jump out of the camera and look at it from the side and see. Perfect. Okay, now I need to change the color, right? So when it hits that, it needs to change to red, which is not a problem. So the material that I put on the letters, which is this one, is that white, it's not the gradient. I'm just going to open that up, and with the playhead at frame 29, I'm going to set a keyframe for the color, and I'm going to go from white, move it ahead to 30, to red. And I think, I've looked this up, it's like, you can just go right here and do I'm sorry, you can double click here and find a red that you like. That's great, great, great. And then I can't forget to hit that keyframe. Boom, there we go. So now it's gonna go, so it's white, 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 and then boom, red when it hits. Perfect. So now, if we look at this, once it hits, you can see the camera, I think it starts going away, right? It's farther and farther away. We need to do that. So, we're going to start that camera movement early, like at frame 27 maybe. So for the camera, click on the camera, go to coordinates, and again it's just this that we're worried about, the in and out. So at 27 frames I'm going to set a keyframe, and then this is like animation 4 seconds long, so I need to add 30 frames here, so that'd be 120. And then I'll just drag this out so I can see the whole timeline. So I have my keyframe set for the camera at frame 27, and then I'll go out to frame 120, and I'll just zoom out a little bit. Now set that again, and now when I render that out, I think you'll be able to see, yeah, see this black line here? That means I need to make the plane a little bigger. I'm going to jump out of the camera to do that. I'm just going to scale this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's see. That took care of it. Sweet. Maybe I'll just pull out a little bit more. And then set a keyframe. Okay, that's it. I think we're done. Sweet. Done. So now, file, we're going to save as, and we'll call this Debar. Oops. Caps lock it on. Debar Netflix Remake, and we'll hit save, and then we'll jump into After Effects and we'll double click right here and go find Debar Netflix Remake, and we're just going to drag that into a new composition. And instead of looking at the software version of it, we want to look at the final version of it. And you can preview this if you want. I changed it from full to quarter, right? So it takes less time to render. But if I just hit the space bar, it would go through and show you this animation if you care. Like if you want to see what it looks like rendered out and then go back and make changes, you can see it's not full quality because I have it at quarter quality. But anyways, I already know what it looks like, so I'm just going to go composition, add to render queue, and make sure it's going to that Netflix folder and it's named what I want to, and hit save, and then hit render, And that is going to take a long time to render. Luckily, I already have one done. I feel like this is a cooking show. I already got one in the oven. I am then, once that's done, it's going to look like this. It's an AVI file. It'll look like this. Open. There's no volume, it's just that. Great. So now I'm going to go into Premiere. We're using Cinema 48, After Effects, and Premiere. I guess you could have I could have put the audio in after the After Effects composition, but I just like using Premiere better, I guess. I don't know why. Just when it takes this long. There it goes. New project, and I can call this Netflix and make sure it's going into the Netflix folder and blah. Hit OK. Yeah, do I want to? Yep. Okay, then I can bring that AVI file in. Where is it? The bar Netflix Remake or something like that. Well, there we go. Bring that AVI file in. And now what I need is the audio that goes with it. I can double click on this and I can drag the video into the timeline, and that's right at 4 seconds. There it is. Now I need the audio, right? So if I go to YouTube, oops, youtube.com, and I search for Netflix production logo, and there it is. Oh, there's no volume with that. There's no, well, this one. There it is. So now I can just right click there, go to copy, and go to listen, youtube.com. What the exclamation point was. Oh. Listen to YouTube. Okay, let's try this again. Having some problems getting to listen to YouTube, which is not a big deal. Okay, not a problem. What I can do is go open up my Firefox. And paste this. And then I can just hit download. We'll do that MP4 720. And where do I want to save it to? Obviously that Netflix folder, and I can just call it Netflix audio. And there we go. And once that's done, I can jump back in Premiere, grab the Netflix audio. Where is it? There we go. It's a video. I was looking for audio, and then I can double click that and just grab the audio from that, and let's see how this lines up. Boom. Done. And there it is. Now I can just hit File, Save, and Export Media. I can the output name I can change to wherever I want. I can change it to that where it's going to that Netflix folder and hit export, and bang, there it is, done. So now I go into my folder and I'm looking for the MP4 of that. There it is, Debar Netflix, open, movies and TV, bang. There it is. And that, my friends, is how it is done. Alright, well, that's all I got for you. So, peace.